Hi, this is Freya with another singing tip. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Well, today I want to talk to you about the 3 most common singing mistakes that I encounter in my studio and how it can kill your sound. Yes, there are tons of technical issues that anybody can have. And you probably have some, I have some, anybody has them. But over the years, working with tons of students, I have noticed a few things that are so common that most singers do, especially in the beginning when you don't have a whole lot of training yet. So I want to caution you, and let's see if you can find yourself in any of these. Number 1, narrow throat. Now that entails your soft palate, your pharynx, your tongue, all these areas. And that's the thing that'll really make your sound not have the most beautiful timbre that you could have. Your voice has a natural timbre and a natural sound, and what you're doing, you're blocking the sound when you have a narrow throat, like so. I am singing now, and although my voice is okay, and the pitches are right, and I even have vibrato, it's very narrow, and so I can't produce the most beautiful sound, and also it's not that efficient just because I have to do a lot of work to get the sound out, just because it's very narrow and there's not a lot of resonating space that amplifies the sound that my vocal cords produce. So if you find yourself in that a little bit, you could even, maybe you're just having narrow vowels, maybe your ah, maybe you just need to work on your ah. Usually some people tend to just have some vowels that tend to be very narrow, like ya instead of ya. Try to open up. It's a whole different story to sing narrow and to sing opened up. Like, now I sing opened up, and my voice color is so different. Even when I sing low, it's so much more beautiful when it's open, yeah. Even when it's high, this is narrow, this is open. Open throat, so important. The second thing that is so common is bad breathing. Now, bad breathing could mean tons of things. The way you breathe is going to determine the way the air moves through your vocal cords, pretty much. So if you breathe very shallow, you're not going to have a lot of air to work with to make it sound good. So breathing is such an important part of singing, and I have videos about breathing. You can check them out. It's one of the basic things. If you don't have good breathing technique, you're always going to be struggling, just because, first of all, you're going to run out of air quicker. Second of all, your support isn't going to be as good, and your posture probably. It all is connected. So make sure you work on your breathing. If you have the feeling that you run out of breath a lot of times, or that you just feel you're always gasping for air, or you just never have enough strength, it may be because you're not breathing properly. So open breathing, open deep breathing. A lot of times you think you had a deep breath, but you actually didn't fill your lungs all the way, because in daily life you don't actually need to breathe as deeply. Even when you do sports, when you go for a run or you do physical exercises, you don't usually breathe that deep. Your frequency goes up. You breathe faster, but you don't really breathe that deeply. Now, when you sing, you need to breathe so much deeper than on an everyday basis. So practice that deep breathing, deep, open, and take your time. So it doesn't need to be like this, but make sure your lungs are really full, as if you were going to dive. You're gonna dive down way deep in the water, and you need like tons of air. Now my lungs are full. Do it without lifting here. Do it in a relaxed way down into your lungs. Expand your belly and then you'll be good to go. And the third thing, finally, that kind of ties in with the breathing part, is breathiness. That has to do partially with your breath, partially with your support, and partially with just vocal cord closure. You want to make sure you don't have too much breathiness, because what it will do, it will just really have the consequence that your tone sounds so different. A breathy tone is never going to have this core and the strength that you want. For example, when you're belting it out, you never can actually do it. You're going to hurt yourself just because you're pushing your vocal cords too hard if they're not connected, if they don't come together all the way, if they're too far apart and you're very breathy. You can't sing breathy and belt out loud. It's just not physically possible. I can't belt out loud. There's a lot of friction. You can hear a lot of air just hissing through there. So that is not a healthy way to belt out. You need to make sure your vocal cords are together. You need to make sure they're together. So these are 3 things that I encounter every day among my students that destroy your sound. They kill your sound. You're not going to sound like you could. If you get rid of these 3 things and address these areas and you get pretty good at it, you're probably going to have a pretty awesome voice. And everything else is details, but these are very important things. So, having said that, I hope you're going to work on these areas. Even if you're great at one of the areas, maybe you have a weakness. Just address it. Thanks for watching so much. Don't forget to tune back in on Tuesday and check out my podcast. Like I said, on the go, anywhere, driving the car, running, walking the dog, vacuuming, doing the dishes. You can learn. You can listen to the podcast once a week, 15, 20 minutes or so, and you can learn something else. Thanks. Have a wonderful week. And don't forget, always keep on singing and always keep a song in your heart. Bye.